Hello my beautiful and lovely gamers, my name is Jonal. Welcome to another episode of Meta Talk. This is where we cover meta strategies and tactics in Overwatch. Today we're talking about quad support as Baptiste is live on the server. We are going to compare that to GOATs and in general what is going to be the meta, what's the pros and cons of this team composition. And that's really a key word here, because what I believe that a lot of people are getting wrong about Overwatch is that they believe that, okay, this is meta, so that's just what we gotta run. If you want to get good at the game, if you want to understand the game on a higher level, you got to understand that every team composition has a pro and every team composition has a con. And this is how, essentially, you can look at the cons of a team composition and you can try to outplay it either by making up a new team composition or how you play against that. That's very important to understand about this game, that everything has a pro and a con, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's really just begin. So in quad support, essentially you swap out your D.Va player for a Baptiste player. And then we want to look at, okay, what do we lose from a D.Va? What does D.Va normally offer for the team? And what is being replaced by the Baptiste player? That's essentially what we want to look at. Now, remember that in GOATs, what we a lot of time look at, or at least this heavy team composition with Ryans, is we look at who wins the Ryan battle, who wins the main group battle. And this is done a lot by, okay, just straight up who is winning the HP battle, to, in general, to like, okay, for example, here right now I'm winning the HP battle, to, okay, for example, can we get pick? So if I can kill this Zenyatta with a hero, okay, every single fight, and it's consistent and I can always do it because I'm a hero pick, then it's like, okay, whatever, right? Then I'm getting such a huge advantage because I'm removing their Zen Orb, I'm removing their damage and some of their healing because of that. And I'm also, of course, removing them so they can't build trans / use trans, right? So we're looking at a lot of time at the main group and the Ryan v Ryan battle. So let's break down D.Va. What do you get from D.Va? From D.Va, you get more close range damage. You get more close range damage as he out damages the Baptiste when she gets up close in her effective range and can land all her body shots. On top of that, maybe be efficient with her missiles, meaning also faster shield breaks and so on. That's a very big part of it. With Baptiste, you get better poke damage, meaning as soon as you're at distance, you have more poke damage, right? So, for example, if you're the enemy team, if you're holding on this high ground and the enemy team is pushing through here, then potentially you have more poke damage right now than what you would do if you had the D.Va, right? Very, very simple. Then we look at Matrix. You're losing Matrix by removing the D.Va. What do you gain for taking away Matrix from you, okay? So then we gotta look at how do we normally use Matrix. We use it, of course, to block certain abilities and some damage during the fight, which reduces the overall damage taken on your front line, especially Orion, right? So we remove that. That damage that you're taking is greatly outweighed by the amount of healing you get from your Baptiste. Your Baptiste heals way more. He heals like 60 per shot with his nades, and he could shoot those every 0.8 seconds, I believe, and then he heals 150 with his AoE healing, right? So he can heal 210 healing about in like a burst of a second, right there. Boom, 210 healing onto your front line, which is normally what you could block from with a Matrix. Matrix has shorter durations, longer cooldowns now, and so on, which makes the out healing is you're out healing what you would normally gain from that damage mitigation. The second thing that you use with Matrix for especially is, of course, negating gravitons. Eating gravitons is, of course, the best way of doing that. That's a little bit inconsistent. So just being there and pressuring the Zarya, allowing your team to ult first, allowing the Zarya to feel pressure so she can't maybe land an optimal grab and so on, and that you can't play as comfortably as you want to, giving you opportunities to win teamfights and so on, is something that you gain from Matrix. Now, how do we look at that? What do we gain from not being able to counter grab? Again, grab is so important in GOATs, so what do we gain on the side of the Baptiste? And what you gain is so insanely powerful. From if you get grabbed with Baptiste, you're immortality fielded. That counters the grab bomb combo. It also does that, yes, while of course you can destroy the mortality field if it's right in front of you, that takes a lot of time. A lot of time, it takes so much time to destroy the mortality field that it's just not worth it. The graviton is over when it's destroyed. Unless you have a Sombra or something, which we don't have with GOATs. Then we will run Sombra GOATs, right? And that is a big selling point. Because that means we don't have to burn trance. If we cannot die inside the grab, why transit? That means you get grabbed, you immortality field the grab, you can't die in the grab, you get a lot of healing, you get extra healing from this guy healing you back up again with all this. When the grab breaks and your mortality field goes down, then you trans and then you push. Doing that you don't have to waste your trans during graviton, as you have an ability that counters it now. Even if they bomb you, who cares? You don't die anyway. And this is huge, because that does, if I have a Baptiste on my team, Every time I grab, you have to burn trance, theoretically, as long as it's a good one, right? Because or else, the chance of me, my Rhine, my Zarya, my Break, right, all of us killing your entire team is very big. Or at least getting frags on your team, right? Killing the Break, killing the Zen, killing the Lucio, killing the Zarya, it doesn't have bubble, right? Or the Rhine. The fact that I will be able to kill you, or at least damage you, even if you don't die, because you drop it or whatever. The fact that I will be a lot of time able to damage you so hard that no matter what you do, you are losing this fight HP-wise, and we can just push it back. You have to burn trance. Okay, then you down trance. I still have mine. You grab me, I don't have to burn it, and now I can advance back with trance, with full HPs, right? And win that fight with an advantage, meaning if I grab first, you burn trance, great, you grab me, I don't burn trance, and now I engage with trance, and then I win that team fight because you cannot kill us inside trance. That's very, very difficult to do unless you fucking pin my support or something, right? And that's huge. How powerful that is. So the grab counter that you gain from Matrix is completely nullified by the outplayability of a Baptiste, especially if you can put the mortality field, if you're defending, for example, around the corner or around the wall, so it's impossible to get an angle and destroy it fast enough for it destroy it at all. Another thing that you gain from mortality field, we talked about D.Vas having Matrix and blocking damage and being efficient like that. With a mortality field, you can do something even better than that. Let's say that your team is advancing on my team, and your team and my team fucks up. My Zarya bubbles too early, and you have now bubble advantage. You're gonna push in with bubble advantage. I waste stun as well. You now have stun advantage. You should win this fight by all means. You have bubbles, so you can out-trade. You have stun, so you can out-trade. My Ryan should lose. In a normal 5 versus fight, my team is a huge disadvantage, and for just sake of argument, my team will lose because you guys have the advantage. Okay, every time you get advantage, I lose. Every time I get advantage, you lose. Now, but I don't have a D.Va. I have Baptiste. So what I can do is drop in mortality field. You cannot kill my front line or anyone that stands tonight, especially if we can drop it close to a corner or something like that. Then you cannot kill my main group. My main group will have time to, because it has 8 seconds. So if you don't destroy it, for example, if it runs a wall or whatever, or for some reason it takes time to destroying it, we buy time to buy back bubbles, buy back stuns. You're fighting where you cannot kill, and because we have Baptiste, we have now extra AoE healing, according with the Break and the Lucio and the Baptiste. That's extra AoE healing, and the Send to precision heal one of us. If you can of course swap him out for an Ana, but now we want him for the trance and for the damage. So I can heal back up, buy back my cooldowns, and while I'm doing this, and my people cannot die, you are taking damage, and we have more poke damage than we ever had. We have Zaryas, we probably have high injuries, we wasted our bubbles. We have Reinhardt, we can swing as long as he's low HP and put up his shield from time to time, of course, to try to get up heals. Breaks, stay in there, we can all stay in there and just spam you and do a lot of damage. And while we are immortal for potentially, you know, let's say 4 seconds if you destroy it halfway through, we are immortal, we build up abilities again, and we can re-engage you. That's so huge that we can play it like that. Of course, we need to find a way. Of course, the counterplay is, oh, we destroy the mortality event. That takes time, that takes resources, which at all, worst case never, okay, you destroy it after like 2-3 seconds. Great, 2-3 seconds of us being invulnerable and you not shooting us, we shooting you, and we healing at the same time. It's still us buying 2-3 second back of abilities, 2-3 second back of healing, and allows us from fucking ourselves so hard but wasting our abilities to counterplay that with a press of a button. And that's a very, very strong ability. Now, ultimate-wise, D.Va has Bomb, right? D.Va has her Self-Destruct, which is the direct counter to Transcendence as it one-shots. Now, that is an inconsistent thing to do, and again, we've already talked about how our Baptiste is going to counter that in Gravitons. Outside of Gravitons, of course, he can still counter it as long as he drops it around his support line or whatever, and himself. He can still counter it. That's, of course, you of course, force our Immortality field there, but we forced an ultimate by using an ability, right? And then we look at his ultimate, you get higher poke damage, which does help you through the team fight. Of course, you can disengage that by just speeding back out. This is a static ultimate, you just stand still. But still, we do get extra poke damage, and I do believe, meta-wise, I would actually give the advantage to Bomb, just because it's a one-shot and it allows some certain amounts of map control over the poke damage that you gain from the Baptiste. So ultimate-wise, I would actually call that a tie, but it's, or a best case, a pro to the D.Va, but you don't really gain or lose anything ultimate-wise from choosing either one. Then we go over to the biggest pro of having still the D.Va, and that is how map control works with D.Va. And that is essentially that you can do stuff like this. Let's say this is a standard, this is GOATs versus quad support on an objective, And this is how it's going to play out. They advance, we advance front line, but because we have D.Va, the Zenyatta has problems playing here. Normally D.Va set up crossfire. So if the Zenyatta tries to play over here, right, which is fine, instead of playing over here, whatever, my D.Va can pressure and dive him and kill him. We also have high ground control, so as Zenyatta cannot set up here because our D.Va can fly up and kill him alone, right? So he cannot set up there as if we are for some reason defending, right? And you do get some high ground control with the Baptiste. He can jump up, but he's not a 1v1, he's not a tank like D.Va, and therefore applying pressure from angles like this is not going to happen. And the best example is the example that I for some reason haven't opened. I thought I opened that. But the best example is something that I always like to do on King's Row to kind of emphasize the high ground control and the map control pressure part that you get from a D.Va that you all of a sudden doesn't have because you don't have the tank. So again, you're playing goats, we are playing goats, great, we are advancing here. As an attacking team, we just captured first point, your team is setting up your defense here. Okay, let's just spawn in actually historic competition, let's just spawn into goats compositions. That's one, and then the red team is mine. Okay, great. Right, so you have goats and I have goats and we are all both on this stand. You have just lost second point, so what do you want to do? Well, it's quite simple. Of course, you want to contest early, right? You want to contest as early as possible, and I don't want you to contest early as possible, because if you are allowed to contest very, very early, for example, if you can get a fight here, another fight like here, and then another fight over here, that's 3 fights where you potentially can win, where you will building ultimates, where you can win with ultimates. That's 3 fights where I have to potentially use ultimates and use resources to try to win those fights, right? And that's also 3 fights where you're stopping my payload process, you're stopping my payload, which is me losing time off my clock. So I don't want that. I want 1 fight over here if possible. Hopefully not even that. So what can you do? If you play goats, now if you play without a D.Va, let's just move her, and you're advancing with your team, so on, right? You're advancing up here and whatever. There's going to be a fight on this corner, as you guys for some reason couldn't contest here in the choke. Okay, what can my D.Va do? She can go up here. And immediately, you guys are pretty much in trouble. My D.Va going up here denies a lot of map controls, because it fucks this entire corner up and allows you not to advance efficiently. Now, if you have your own D.Va, you would probably say, oh, we'll just send ours up there. But remember, because if you advance here, what do your supports need to do? Go forward, and then I kill them. Right? Or I pressure them so they can't play aggressive. They need to play far away. At the same time, I'm just shooting straight down on Sarah. I'm shooting straight down on your Ryan. You guys have problem turning because my entire team is here. So you guys can't like just like, oh, let's wall right up here and send the break through the house to the right. Then we just rush your main group. So it's very difficult for you to deal with this, right? Because I have a lot of map control. And if you send a D.Va up, because just Zenyatta has problem playing and my D.Va can back off, I can get a LOS from my Zen, mark and shoot yours in the back while healing my own. You can probably heal your own, you can maybe mark mine, but it's very difficult for you to shoot up at it without like standing here, and then you can rush and kill this ascent. So you guys have also problem contesting this high ground D.Va with your own D.Va, even if you play goats, right? And if you're down with a Baptiste, you have nothing to really contest these high grounds with. You lack this crossfire and this map control that you normally would have. The same goes if you watch, I do believe it was Shanghai versus, I would like to say London Spitfire, but someone in the comments would probably correct me, but to who they play against. Where, again, the Shanghai played, this enemy team put their Zenyatta in a very normal position, as the Shanghai Dragon pretended to rotate over here and attack straight over with their goats. The Zenyatta rotated here, so he had space but still was efficient. And what did they do? They just sent their D.Va back up here to kill their Zen. That's a high ground control move that you cannot do without your D.Va. So you lose some of this high ground, you lose some of this angle, right? The same goes here. You can put your D.Va on, if there's a fight at the point, you can put your D.Va up here to shoot straight down at the enemy team. So if the enemy team is fighting over here, you are confining a lot of where the supports can stand, as the Zenyatta can now just not stand here. He will get pressured and potentially killed by the D.Va, right? He needs to play over here or inside the buildings, right? Or way over here or something like that. As by her standing there, you're denying a lot of space. On top of the fact that you're just dealing a lot of damage initially over on the tanks from shooting from this high ground. And all of this is stuff that is difficult to do versus goats. If you play Baptiste as a D.Va, will have high control and you don't really have anyone to contest her. Unless you want to run the staircases after her, which is not the playstyle that the D.Va likes to play and not the playstyle that you would want to do to counter this move. And that is a major disadvantage from playing goats. Oh, I actually had it wrong open. There's a major disadvantage that you get from playing goats. Without the D.Va is that you lose this map control player. You get a lot of other things in the team fight. You get immortality field, as we talked about in that 1v1. when you lose resources against the grab combos. You can save your trances, you can block bombs very consistently and efficiently. You don't, as I said, you don't have to waste your trances, you can have better poke damage, you have insane sustain, and so on. And all this is good, but you do lack this map control, which I believe is the biggest loss of a team composition without a D.Va, is that there's this map control here that we're used to being allowed to play with, all of a sudden disappears. And that is really my analysis and breakdown of quad supports versus goats. I believe both are very good. I believe that both are something that you can play in different situations, depending on your team, depending on what map you play, and so on. But they both have a very big place in the meta on different teams and so on. But now at least you know the pros and the cons of these videos. If you like videos like this, liking and subscribing, bell notification, telling me down in the comment section what you would like to see, like me to talk about, and so on. And meta talk is something that, of course, I'm incredibly appreciative of, and the same goes for joining our Discord community server. My Twitter and my Twitch is also linked down in the description. As always, if you want me to hire me as a private coach, it's 50 euros for a 2-hour session. Doesn't matter if you're bronze or top 100, as long as it doesn't matter if you play for a team or not even. As long as you can get a bot to me, I can help you improve, rank up, and get better at the game. So I hope I see you guys very, very soon. As always, guys, my name is Jonal. You guys stay positive. I love you guys very, very much. As always, guys, keep the enemy in your crosshair.